And that actually leads us to our very last topic of the episode. One more thing that we need to take care of. We were just talking about shops and shopkeepers and eating random food that they sell you in a dungeon. And now we wanted to ask about the whole mechanic that you see in video games where eating heals you. You eat food and you gain life points back. Because I don't know about you, Alex, but I've never experienced that in the real world.
Have you ever lost life points in the real world?
Good point. But I never. But here's the thing. What I mean is, I've never like suffered a scratch or a cut or something like that, and said, okay, now the way I'm going to deal with this, I will eat food and it will heal the cut. It will heal the damage.
It'll stop my bleeding.
It will stop the bleeding. I have lost my hand. I'm bleeding profusely. Sweet roll time. Better. All set.
Everything's all better when you eat sweet rolls, Nathan.
That's what Skyrim taught me. If you have to deal with a dragon, just go into the menu for a minute, eat 100 sweet rolls, and you're back in fighting shape, baby.
Yeah, instantaneous health gain.
Exactly. You never have to worry about that game as long as you just stack up on sweet rolls.
Getting burned alive? Why not eat some sweet rolls?
Exactly, absolutely. And the great thing about those RPGs, too, is that you never gain weight. No caloric intake. They don't have those mechanics in there.
No, it's not like San Andreas, where if you ate too much, your character would get a little
biggie, get a little chunky. Yeah, I do have to say, like, that was a very interesting mechanic, just because it's like, it kind of makes sense. I just downed like 500 hamburgers so that I could regain some life.
Or in like Fable.
Oh yeah, that happened too. Yeah, and you eat a lot. But now, see, the weird thing about Fable, I don't know how much you remember about Fable, but if you're eating fatty foods, like the meat and stuff, you start getting a little belly going on. You get big, chunky. But if you eat carrots, you get thinner.
Thought you were gonna say you turn orange, which would have been fantastic, honestly.
I really would have loved that. But no, if you eat healthy foods, you get thinner by eating more. There's no point where if you just don't eat for a long period of time, you like get thinner. I don't remember that mechanic. It was mostly like, what kind of foods are you eating? Some make you thinner, some make you fatter. This is what happens in that game. It doesn't quite make sense. Because caloric intake would be caloric intake. At least in San Andreas, it was either you eat or you're not eating. And that determines it.
And then if you work out, you lose weight.
Work out, you gain muscle mass too.
Yeah, you get thinner, but you also bulk up.
Yeah, you bulk up.
But,
so there was
so we were saying that in Skyrim and other games, video games, RPGs and stuff, you tend to have food products and stuff that makes you gain hit points back. And even in the game that Ray and I have been playing lately, which is New World, by the way.
Oh, okay.
We did pick that up.
Excellent.
But your travel rations, your food, your carrots, whatever, any food items you get will restore hit points. It's a very tropey, I want to say, video game mechanic.
Especially for RPGs as a genre. Because I'm thinking if you look at survival genre, which is a different thing altogether, that usually is different. Medieval Dynasty is one I've been playing a bit right now, and food, your hunger meter and your life meter are different things. You eat food, you'll restore your food meter, your hunger meter, but you will not restore hit points. Hit points are a whole different thing. Of course, they don't really make that better because there are like health potions and like a few different things like broadleaf plantains you can eat that will restore hit points specifically, and also you can like recover your hit points if you just sleep for a bit. So there's that.
At least sleeping should recover hit points. It's how you heal naturally.
You would think.
By just sleeping.
Yeah.
The body repairs itself when you sleep.
Yeah. Which I have to say, like Breathage, which I tried to play recently, does basically have the one system. Well, the med kits, obviously, that you can use.
Yeah.
But besides that, it's basically, sleep in a bed, and you can recover from having not been able to breathe in space for the last 10 seconds. So there's that. While having, for reasons I still don't really understand, a food and water meter, which you can use, you can use like health packs. Or like ration packs. You can make those and you can keep those up. Really just felt like extra meters to me, but
Just because they want you to eat and stuff.
yeah, it's so inconsequential in that game. Like it counts down so little, and you have such high store. It's so easy to make food packets and water packets out of the ice and the random little globule dots that you find out there, that I always had so much on hand that I never really had to worry about it, when really your oxygen meter is what really counts, because that goes away and all of a sudden your health points start decreasing at an exponential rate, but food won't recover that in that particular case.
Right.
I feel like that's more an RPG thing.
Definitely.
By and
Definitely.
large.
Better is survival crafting game.
Yeah, much more than that. Other places where I might have seen that, I'm trying to think. Oh, well, actually in Psychonauts, come to think of it, although the Psy Pops and the Psy Fluffs, I think are what they're called, technically restore your psychic energy.
Oh, okay.
But that's
So your
basic.
mana.
Yeah, but here's the thing: your psychic energy is basically your health. Like for the intents and purposes, you get hit because you're all in a brain. Basically, you're in the brains. Your psychic energy is your health. It's represented by brains, but you're not technically recovering. It's not you're recovering from a wound. You're recovering because something inside of a head hit you and it caused some mental damage that you need to restore by eating a pop, a candy that restores mental energy for you.
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
Gotta have that mental focus.
you gotta have the mental focus all the time. So it does happen. I've seen it in adventure games. Sometimes they'll deal with it with health potions, but a lot of times food items kind of become a stand-in for that. I don't know why they kind of become interchangeable in so many ways. Like, I don't know if they have this in New World, you can tell me. But sometimes you'll have the food items that are not as good as at healing as the health potions. But at the same time, the health potions can't be very nutritious for you.
Yeah, health potions are probably not very nutritious. But at the same time, though, too, with that is a lot of food items can also give you temporary buffs.
Okay. Good.
Where health potions generally do not.
Right.
Unless you're doing alchemy in Skyrim, and you go, oh yeah, this one heals you for 250% of your health over 5 seconds, and then increases everything else by 1,000.
Yeah.
Or however many for the next 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, if you can game that system, yeah, that might happen, actually. I've made those potions. I've used that loop, the restoration loop, to make my equipment ridiculous. Stealth of like 1.7 million% increase.
Oh yeah, I bet you're seeing all the time.
Oh, I have video footage of me just in front of an ice troll, and the troll just doesn't see me at all.
Those are blind.
No, they would normally attack you. But because I also did it in front of Falmer, in front of the spiders, and they just walk right up to you, and no, nothing. You just
Nothing.
I'm crouched down, they can't see me. And then the fun part would be you could take your bow, you could shoot one of them, insta-kill them while you're in stealth, because I also have this big stealth multiplier. And they die. Everybody comes rushing over to see what happened. You're standing right there. They're like, nope, no idea. So that's fun. You can make cool potions with that. but it was mostly my equipment. Anyway, off topic. The point is, here's the thing that I never understood. And sometimes you'll see it, like we've explained in the past, but I am always surprised that when food is going to be your health mechanism, there aren't some negative effects to eating like 600 sweet rolls. If you have like a Fallout, they at least had the thing where you could eat the radiated food that they gave you and recover some hit points, but there's the part where it's radioactive and you start gaining rads from it, so there's a negative consequence to it. I would think if you're playing a role, and I would imagine, like, in the tabletop setting, you would hope that this would become an occurrence. I can't just eat as much bread as I possibly want. I can't just take 500 sweet rolls, stuff them into my face, without some potentially negative health consequences to that. That I feel like maybe there's a threshold, like, if you keep eating past the point where your health has gone up to the top, this could actually negatively impact it, because you just keep on eating past that. Or calories. Like, something like that.
No one wants to play calorie counter the RPG, though.
No, they probably don't. There is something really interesting, though. There's a system about eating and health that you might not be aware of, which is in the Yakuza series, because they actually have like a whole stomach meter.
What?
You've never seen this?
No, I've never played Yakuza.
You've never played Yakuza? Okay, so in Yakuza, in the newer ones, when they had the Dragon Engine, you eat, and your stomach fills up.
Okay.
So they'll give you experience in different categories, and they'll also recover some of your health. But your stomach only has so much capacity. You can increase it over the course of time, but you can't go beyond that, or you get like no experience from doing it at all if you go past that. So you have a certain amount of food that you can eat, and then you have to wait till you get hungry again before you can eat more food.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And there are ways that you can modify that, obviously, but the idea is that you can't just stuff yourself full of every single thing that you possibly can find. You have to start thinking about what you want to eat before your stomach gets too full, and that hopefully you find good food combinations that buff you in some way.
Right.
But I thought that was an interesting mechanic, only because if you are pretty full and your health is very low, that might not be a great option for you to just go to a stand and eat a bunch of takoyaki that's at one of those stands, because it's just not going to allow you to. You could try to do like the low, food index items like drinks, but then it's like the beers and stuff, and now I can't walk straight. So there's that. Because you're drunk now. So that's a negative consequence. But I kind of like that idea, because in some ways it answers that whole question. Why food heal? Like, well, food can only heal to so much of a degree, because you have an actual mechanic about how much food you can stick in your face hole you have there. The good old face hole you got going on.
You can only hold so much food in that belly.
You can only hold so much food in that belly before it bursts. Yeah, so I guess the real question that comes up here is, mechanically speaking, food as a mechanism to heal yourself seems like it's a matter of convenience, because we kind of associate food with living, and not necessarily as a realistic thing in games.
Yeah. Food is keeps you alive and gives you nutrition, but it doesn't heal you on its own.
No, I think bandages and such would probably be helpful for that.
And even those wouldn't just heal you, those would just mend your wounds. There's a difference between the two.
Right. And I think that might be the reason why you don't see it in survival games very much, that they have other systems to deal with that. There's one that I haven't played, but I want to say it was Green Hell, that looked kind of interesting. But that's where you're like out in the middle of a jungle, and therein though, that gets real intense because it's like something bites you, you get a cut on your leg, now I gotta get a salve, I gotta wrap it, and you have to take time to recover from every little wound and bite that you get when you are out there. And I think to some people that's really exciting. Other people are going to be going, can I just eat a sub and make it go away? It's not fun for me. It's not that kind of game. RPGs I don't really think are supposed to be that kind of a game.
No, not generally speaking.
Not as a general rule. I think if they implemented stuff like that into like a Skyrim, people would be unhappy.
Yeah, probably.
You could make a survival version of Skyrim. Oh my god, could you imagine?
Oh, you can. 100%.
Yeah.
Fallout as well.
Oh yeah, you can. Don't do it like the one stat challenge I tried. You will not have a good day.
No, that was terrible.
That was a really bad
that.
idea. Yeah. It's just die, die, die all day long. You don't have to worry about eating anything because you can die in one hit, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Fun question for you. We're going to try doing a fun thing now. Fun question. If you had suffered a grievous wound and somebody told you that there was a food that you could eat that would recover, that would let you recover from it, what food would you want that to be?
What food would I want that to be? Maybe like a stuffed mushroom or something.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, because A, I would love that.
Yeah.
And B, it's not entirely unhealthy.
No.
So.
Yeah. See, I keep thinking to myself, maybe a fruit roll-up, only because I'd probably use that as a bandage instead.
Oh, there you go.
Instead, it's like food as a bandage.
I mean, in that case, just go with seaweed.
Yeah, just go with seaweed. That would actually be a really good idea. You could do that in the game. Yeah, I see it a lot. I think the other unrealistic aspect to that too is if we're looking at something like a Skyrim or a Fallout, is the idea that you pause the action entirely. And you just go into your menu. It's like, yeah, hold up 1 second. We're just
hold up while I eat these 600 loaves of bread.
I gotta get these loaves of bread in me. Just wait 1 second.
There's a meme somewhere. It's like,
oh yeah, the dragon.
Or Fallout, and it's like, hold while I eat these 600 cabbages.
Yeah. and then just okay, I'm ready. I'm back in time.
I watched this madman eat 500 cabbages right in front of me.
Yeah. I was almost going to win that fight, and then somehow he recovered all of his hit points back. I don't know how that happened. It's very weird, this world that we've created. So, looking forward to making a new RPG that has like realistic health and food mechanics in it. No one will.
We're gonna call that Nutrition Quest.
Nutrition Quest?
Yeah.
Dietitian Simulator.
No, Nutrition Quest.
Nutrition Quest. Excellent.
The quest for the feast.
A quest for the feast. Quest Fest.
Yeah, exactly.
A cornucopia of questing. There you go. Perfect.
And a cornucopia of festing.
A cornucopia of festing. Perfect.
Perfect for your Thanksgiving holiday season.
Yes. So, at any rate, so I would pass this on to all of you if you want to continue the conversation. How do you feel about using food as a mechanic to heal yourself? And do you have examples of games that we did not talk about here that utilize that in an interesting way? I'd be interested to know, and you can hit us up either on our socials or you can go over to our Discord channel and check us out there.
Yes, you can.
Excellent.